all the way from Providence, Rhode Island. Welcome to the Potterverse. It's a podcast dedicated to the book and film universe of Harry Potter. So grab your favorite wands and time turners. Let's step into the night and pursue that flighty temptress adventure. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. My name is Mary Larson.
My name is Blake, and I wish that I had the confidence to just show up wearing a tea cozy for a hat and one color sock and then another color sock. I mean, granted, if you're watching us right now, I am wearing a Whitney Houston shirt.
Yeah, I was just about to
Sweatshirt.
say, you do have a lot of courage.
But it's not as much courage as Dobby. By the way, did not expect to see Dobby in this chapter. Did not, again, as you know, I
Even
have
though
not
it's
read this
called
book.
the House Elf of Liberation Front.
Yeah, no, because I figured it would just be Hermione whining and complaining about the house elves, and then they should go down there and she'd do what she did. But seeing Dobby there was not what I expected.
No, I hear you, man, but it's here, and it's what happened. Well, that being said, you must have been reading my mind. Okay. Dobby let go and stepped back a few paces, beaming up at Harry, his enormous green, tennis ball-shaped eyes brimming with tears of happiness. He looked almost exactly as Harry remembered him, the pencil-shaped nose, the bat-like ears, the long fingers and feet, all except the clothes, which were different. When Dobby had worked for the Malfoys, he had always worn the same filthy old pillowcase. Now, however, he was wearing the strangest assortment of garments Harry had ever seen. He had done an even worse job of dressing himself than the wizards at the World Cup. He was wearing a tea cozy for a hat, on which he had pinned a number of bright badges, a tie patterned with horseshoes over a bare chest, a pair of what looked like children's soccer shorts, and odd socks. One of these, Harry saw, was the black one Harry had removed from his own foot and tricked Mr. Malfoy into giving Dobby, therefore setting Dobby free. The other was covered in pink and orange stripes.
That is so cute. That he's still wearing the one that Harry got
That
him.
He
Gave him rather,
Yeah.
and like he's
and
just
set him free with.
Oh man, it just soaks your heart in like syrupy sweet goodness.
Oh, I love it. A
You know.
treacle tart goodness level.
Dobby is really cute in this chapter, and there's a great.
You see why he's my top three.
No, I don't. But I still can recognize a great juxtaposition of the house elf life as it is
Okay.
when you compare he against Winky.
It's basically Downton Abbey, but elves.
But yes.
And he's the Mosley.
Absolutely, Mr. Mosley.
For those of you who don't watch Downton Abbey, I'm sorry, I'm speaking all this language that you don't know. But those of you who do watch Downton Abbey,
You get it.
Mosley loves it.
And those of you who don't watch Downton Abbey, get on it. It's on Netflix.
It's so good.
It's so good.
All right. So, we're here. We're here for chapter 21, and I'm pretty excited. But before we jump into this chapter, we do want to take a moment and thank those of you at jointhenerdclan.com for making this possible. In addition to podcasting, I do want to let you all know that I also sell makeup and skincare products at minutewithmary.com. I am currently having a Harry Potter themed beauty class online. Search the hashtag Minute with Mary. The beauty class is taking place just on Facebook, but if you do find me on Instagram, for example, I can still probably share some things and tips with you. But this month, the month that we're airing, the month of November, I am actually running for a giant promotion. So if you need new mascara, lipstick, skincare, anything like that, and you wanted to try something through me, I'd be more than grateful if you did. I'd love to help you find the right shades, or you can just do some shopping at minutewithmary.com.
All right, you ready to get into it?
Yes.
Let's do it.
I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good.
All right, so the chapter kicks off straight after Harry has his immense win of getting the golden egg from the Hungarian Horntail. He opens the egg in the Gryffindor common room because they're having a big old party for him there, and it's awesome. They learn how to get into the kitchens. They get to go see some of the house elves, and then the students have some more time in class, of course, spend a bit of time with the Care of Magical Creatures. Rita Skeeter pops in. They hang out in Trelawney's room, and that's really what we're doing.
We're
Hanging out in class and
hanging out with
partying.
Hagrid, blast-ended Scroots.
Love them all.
Oh my goodness gracious! That we're here. We're ready to go, man.
Mhm.
So, Mary, where do you want to begin with this chapter, and how do you want to approach this?
Okay, so let's clean up the first task. Let's get through the golden egg, all this kind of stuff. Of
Yep.
course, the task was for Harry to get this egg from the Hungarian horntail. They were told this egg will give you a clue. He comes on in and he decides to open it. Oh, before this, actually, make a note. He sent a letter to Sirius.
Yes, exactly.
And I loved Harry's been writing these really quick letters all this time. He couldn't stop himself from writing a play-by-play
Yeah.
to let Sirius know every single detail of how he got past this dragon.
I know. Well, I mean, how could you? Know?
Honestly, right? He's proud.
Yeah. Well, you just defeated a dragon.
Not defeated, but
I think that's like that's some semantics.
Okay.
Semantic play right there.
And
he defeated a dragon.
and his bestie's back. You know, this whole chapter we get to have Harry and Ron doing their little banter back and forth. Harry is not feeling alone anymore. He's having fun. He's enjoying. He's riding this wave. It's about to fall. It's about to crash. Hold on tight, Harry Potter, but he's on his high point. You've been talking about his low points that he's been having.
Yes.
This is a high point right here.
And it's a drastic turn. I mean, a huge turn. And the fact that he went from being so far alone that he felt like every other wizard in the wizarding world was part of a different species,
Yep.
to now having his best friend back, to, again, defeating a dragon, and then celebrating the fact that, oh yeah, let's take the egg that I just got from the dragon and let's open this bad boy up and see what we got. I mean,
That's it.
I also have to give it to the author. The fact that we get a chance to have this deep breath after the first task, but not only that, have this leading object that takes us from the first task through what is going to be a fairly significant break between the first task and the second task. So you have this great narrative piece that keeps us engaged in the task and the Triwizarding Tournament. It would be so easy to almost forget that it's happening because Harry just did this big thing and yay, we did it. But we still have an egg to remind us that, oh, no, we still got some more stuff to go here. Such a great tool that the author uses to keep the reminder and to keep you engaged in the Triwizarding Tournament.
Agreed. So, what I thought was interesting is Harry's in the common room and they're having all these little sweets and everything thanks to Fred and George. Don't take a sweet from Fred and George.
Never.
Never.
I wouldn't take anything from Fred
I
and
would
George.
probably have dated Fred or George.
You know what's you would have.
Totally would have.
Like the kid with the red shoes that you wanted.
Oh, yes. Who I told at my 10th year reunion, I had a crush on you for 2 years because you were bold enough to wear red sneakers.
I'm bold enough to wear Whitney Houston sweatshirt.
And that's why we're married. You just took it up a level.
By the way, just for those of you who are big fans of Whitney Houston, I have to play this for you if I could find it.
Yeah.
If I could find it, Blake.
Let's go, Blake.
Oh, here it is. That's for my girl Whitney. That's for Frank, and that's all. Frank from Outlander, and also K.O. Yegan from This Is Us. I just have to play that out there.
You need to find who your Whitney song in the Harry Potter series is going to go to. Because I feel like I know who it is, but that person's going to die.
I know. See, that's the thing.
They're all going to die, Blake.
Maybe when Sirius comes up throughout the rest of the series, maybe then I'll play play Whitney.
Maybe not.
Whitney, the Whitney, I Will Always Love You. It's a big honor.
It's deep. It is. I don't know if you have anyone in the series yet at that level for
you. Know who it would really go to?
Snape?
No, because he's too much.
Okay.
It would go to Lockhart. It would go to Lockhart.
It would for you.
Yep, it would go to
for
Lockhart.
you.
Because you know what? Big enough character for him to show up every once in a while, but not too big that he's always there. See, Sirius is always there. Snape's wicked always there. Lockhart,
Oh, you
just
want to
enough.
have a little sprinkle.
You got to have a sprinkle. Because it's you play Whitney too much, it loses the luster.
Okay.
Can't lose the luster.
What
Whitney
about Arthur Weasley?
out on Arthur Weasley. He does not deserve the Whitney mantle.
Oh my gosh, I would completely disagree. Okay, let's just get back into this. Once again, our top characters in the book series are completely different. Our priorities completely skewed.
Totally
Anyway,
skewed.
I can't handle you. So Harry opens up this egg, and it makes this outrageously terrible sound. And so let's see exactly. So it was hollow and empty, but the moment Harry opened it, the most horrible sound, a loud and screeching wailing, filled the room. The nearest thing to it Harry had ever heard was the ghost orchestra at Nearly Headless Nick's death day party, who had been all playing the musical Saw. What's interesting is Seamus Finnegan says it sounds like a banshee. And he says maybe you need to get one past those. Fun fact, Seamus Finnegan saw a banshee when the Bogart exercise was happening in the previous book in the Prisoner of Azkaban. So,
you're right.
Seamus's biggest fear is a banshee. So it's interesting that that's what he relates this to. And then Neville says it was someone being tortured. You're going to have to fight the Cruciatus curse, which of course is scary for Neville because his parents were tortured. Then I love this. Don't be a prat, Neville. That's illegal. They wouldn't use the Cruciatus curse on the champions. I thought it sounded a bit like Percy singing. Maybe you've got to attack him while he's in the shower, Harry. You know what's funny? Is that this is the closest one because it's someone speaking and singing in water.
Right, exactly.
So for him to kind of equate it to someone singing in the shower, well done, George Weasley. Well done.
George is great because the author teases you with the idea that George is the one after getting this whole canary cream thing. Well, not after, but I think this is before the canary cream, right? Yes, this is before the canary cream. But still, she knows that you're not going to take necessarily Fred and George all that seriously.
Correct.
So that when he says something, you're just going to dismiss it outright. But the fact that she can sneak in the truth almost into this little passage with George, gotta give it to her, man. She knows what she's doing.
I find the Weasleys to be intelligent men. I bet they could.
Of course you do. You would have dated them. You would have worn the red shoes.
Okay. Anyway, so
you know what I was thinking?
No.
You know how we always say Fred and George?
Yes.
Isn't it weird if you say George and Fred?
I mean, nobody does. So yeah.
I know it's weird. George and Fred.
Just like Blake and Mary. No one say Mary.
No
and
one
Blake.
says Blake and Mary.
Exactly.
It's always
Blake.
Mary and Blake.
Okay.
It rolls off the tongue better.
All right.
It's kind of like. Sorry, go ahead.
Gosh,
Never
let's get
mind.
back to the book,
Yeah.
man. In this time frame, Hermione asks Fred and George, or George and Fred, depending upon how you go.
How you feeling today?
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know.
Where all this food came from, because there's tons of yummy food. And he says, we just asked the elves. They were happy to give it to us. And Hermione asks him, how did you go see the elves?
And he starts telling her. And he goes, whoa, wait, no, hold on. Wait a second. I know what you're doing here.
But it was too late. He already told her to tickle the pear. Too late, man.
Yeah, and by the way, I also have to say, Hermione giving Harry a hard time over the fact that he's seeking help from other students to figure out the egg.
The clue of the
clue.
egg.
Yeah, pretty rich coming from her. And Harry notices that too and says, yeah, I was supposed to defeat the dragon by myself too.
Except I was told it was a dragon, and
Yeah.
then you helped me a ton. So, yeah, exactly. See how that worked out for you. What I did find interesting is how did Hermione Granger not know where the kitchens were located?
Yeah, because she's read History of Hogwarts, or
million
Hogwarts of History, a
times.
kabillion times.
Has read like all the books in the library, has had access to the Marauders map. Like, what?
Yeah, you're
what are
right.
we doing?
The Marauders map would be the smoking gun of her knowing
I mean,
where.
but it's probably in Harry's trunk, so she probably doesn't think about it all the time, and she's not going to be like, "Can you please give me your Marauders map so I can go set
yeah, but
all
if it
the
mattered
elves
to her that
free?"
much, she would have done it.
I know. So it's interesting that by now she still hasn't figured it out. Or maybe she hasn't thought of going to the kitchens before. And by them bringing it up, she's like, I can go straight to the source.
Well, didn't she talk about going down to the kitchens before?
I think they've
couple of
said
chapters
ask
ago?
them. She said, we
Yeah.
want you to ask them. We want you to talk to them and get the elves' opinions.
Yes.
And all this while, we get to see the canary creams come out. And I love this because we've been able to see Fred and George, George and Fred, unveil their different projects. We've been able to hear about them experimenting all summer and driving Mrs. Weasley crazy. And I just love that we get to have this. As we know, in the 5th book, they give up on school. They go and they decide to be entrepreneurs with all of these endeavors that they get. And I just love that they're experimenting on these students, including poor Neville.
And they say, hey, yeah, watch out for that one. Watch out for that candy.
Yeah.
And they were just joking.
But
and it ended up
was
being
it?
that one. He's like,
Yes.
oh, yeah, it was that one. Forgot about that. Poor Neville. How traumatized is this kid? Like how much PTSD must this kid have about his parents dying? The fact that he thinks, yeah, they're going to torture you, Harry. Yeah. Like, that is horrifying. It's good that he turns into a canary for a little bit.
Had this book been written in 2021, there would have been another staff member, the school therapist.
Oh, absolutely.
The Miss Wendy, because our kids have Miss Wendy, and they have once a week lessons, learning about their emotions, shark fin breathing,
Star breathing.
Yeah. Neville needed a school therapist.
Wendy Winkletop. That would be her name. Wendy, the therapist.
Okay, I dig it.
You
Yes.
see, I got the alliteration there. You see? It's
So you
nowhere
were
near.
talking about canary creams
Yeah, no, it's good that.
and PTSD.
Yeah, it's good that.
You were saying that he got to have a holiday being a canary?
Well, not a holiday, but it releases the tension
I don't
a
know,
little
man.
bit here.
This is a quick question. When you're being transfigured into a creature, does it hurt? Because Polyjuice Potion didn't feel good. Okay, when the trio was doing the Polyjuice Potion situation, it did not feel good to them. We didn't really get to neither Harry, Ron, nor Hermione became Animagus and Magi. Always mess up that word. But neither three of them, which is surprising. I would have thought that Harry would have been like, I want to be like my dad and be a stag.
It would have been symmetrical.
Exactly.
For them to come.
That was a
Animagi.
loss.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe they do it later in life. Like as a midlife crisis.
Instead of buying a Corvette, he becomes a stag.
They're like, hey, Hermione, didn't you grow some fresh mandrake? Cool. I'm going to keep this under my tongue for a month.
Don't tell Ginny. I'm just going to show up at home as a deer.
Oh, my gosh. So, but yeah, I don't know. And obviously, we see Professor McGonagall bippity-boppity-boo into a cat. So we don't have any inkling that it hurts to be transfigured into a creature. Malfoy becoming the ferret. We didn't hear about him being hurt. Obviously hurt emotionally, but we didn't hear him being hurt physically.
Right.
But yeah, is it just a poop? Does it feel good? Is it kind of like you're getting your back cracked? It feels nice?
I feel like...
We're going to hope that for Neville.
I will tell you that the text suggests there is no pain. There may be some emotional trauma, as you suggested, Mary, but I don't think there's any physical pain. Regardless, I think the story benefits from the fact that it has this transition out of Neville talking about his parents getting tortured, and the idea of Harry being tortured, and it allows us to it gives us a transition to move on from the subject without being like wah wah wah. The author allows us the time to take something very serious and kind of give us turns it into a joke, or at least gives us the benefit of levity to move on to the rest of the stuff that we have to go on through.
Cool. It's cold. It is cold. It is
Cold
the
and damp.
beginning of December, and Harry's reflecting on he's fortunate. He's in this castle, drafty as it may be. He's not on the ship with the Durmstrang students. He's not outside with the Beauxbatons, and the Beauxbaton horses are drinking so much malt whiskey that the fumes of the alcohol are making the Care of Magical Creatures students a wee bit,
Little
lightheaded.
woozy.
Little lightheaded, which they need because they're dealing with these blast-ended scroots.
Right. And the blast-ended scroots are getting enormous, and they won't hibernate in these little pillowcases or whatever it is that Hagrid's trying to get them into, and they're all freaking out.
It's so funny. As I was reading this bit, I was debating, okay, could this be like my different perspective? But I couldn't figure out how to do it. So I'm just going to volley with you all for a little bit. Reading this bit about Hagrid and the students trying to hibernate the blast-ended scroots, made me relive very painful moments in my life as a young parent trying to get my children to bed.
Oh my God. just
No, God, please, no.
no, don't bring it up again, Mary.
I'm not sure whether they hibernate or not, Hagrid told the shivering class in the windy pumpkin patch next lesson. Thought we'd just see if they'd fancy a kip and we'd settle them down in these boxes. There were now only 10 Scroots left. Apparently their desire to kill one another had not been exorcised out of them. Each of them was now approaching 6 feet in length. Their thick gray armor, their powerful scuttling legs, their fire-blasting ends, their stings and their suckers combined to make the Scroots the most repulsive thing Harry had ever seen. The class looked dispiiritingly at the enormous boxes Hagrid had laid out, all lined with pillows and fluffy blankets. But the Scroots, it transpired, did not hibernate and did not appreciate being forced into pillow-lined boxes and nailed in. Hagrid was soon yelling, "Don't panic now, don't panic," while the Scroots rampaged around the pumpkin patch, now strewn with smoldering wreckage of the boxes.
I could just hear Hagrid right. Don't panic! Don't panic!
That's what I feel like. Like, you need to take a nap. Come on, it's nap time.
Oh my God! Like, talk about PTSD. I got PTSD about kids sleeping. Oh
I still don't sleep.
yeah, there's.
okay.
Someone told us that kids would sleep when they turned 7.
Yeah, our little one is still 6.
They lied. They lied. They don't sleep still.
Well, you don't.
But the early baby years were tough. I remember sitting on that.
So that's what it
Yoga
reminded
ball,
me
man.
of
Oh,
was
yeah.
was the blast-ended Scroots. And, of course,
Yep.
a lot of the class all run inside Hagrid's little cabin. Harry, Ron, and Hermione were outside trying to get the last ones up. And I just think that this is so sweet. Obviously, we just learned Harry thought that this was the most repulsive thing. They're super scary.
Yeah.
And yet they know they need to help Hagrid out. And they know that this is completely useless. They don't know what the blasted-ended Scroots are good for. This is literally an experimental classroom situation. And they're trying to take this all taken care of. And Rita Skeeter pops up.
Oh, Rita Skeeter. Dude, this woman. Oh, manipulative. And she is the definition of Slytherin.
No, stop. There are some very good Slytherins. I would challenge that this is the definition of dirty media.
Oh yeah, I mean
And-
that goes without saying.
yeah,
I think
so,
like,
like-
this is ugly. This is almost like TMZ style media.
Yeah. And
know.
it's just, being in the day and age that we are at the time of the recording, it's so interesting no matter where you are sided on anything,
Yeah.
there's dirty media. And it's just so interesting that in essentially a children's book, the author really starts to lay down that written word, media, can severely be skewed, and that there are people out there who have power because they have a platform, and they frequently use that platform to bring harm to others and to lie about them. So what we're having here, and because you haven't read this book, Blake, you're gonna find out, but she's following Hagrid around, and she's doing all these interviews, and she is going to blast him for being part giant.
Right,
You know,
right.
like that is not a well thought of thing. A lot of Slytherins are pure blood, probably hold that in a higher stature. Rita Skeeter, we assume, would align with kind of those viewpoints. So here she is, just up to no good. Now she's here because yesterday was the task with the dragon. She's not living at Hogwarts, but she's here to get a scoop. And why not visit every classroom? I'm going to go pick on this one because he looks weird.
Well, Harry brings up the idea that she's been banned from Hogwarts, like that she's not supposed to be
yes,
walking
yes.
around, and
you.
the text doesn't explicitly say that she was banned from Hogwarts, though it does allude to the fact that she's no longer allowed on the grounds, which would suggest why she's going to Hagrid. Mary, not only is this prescriptive of ugly media or bad media, or dirty media, how you
I don't even know how I worded it. I made it up.
But whatever, sure. I mean, whatever it is, whatever you want to consider it, just let's call it TMZ, okay? It's TMZ style. Not only is it ugly media, but it is how you obtain that information that allows you to craft a narrative. She knows that Hagrid is this affable and, dare I say, gullible figure at Hogwarts. And she is flattering him with the idea of, oh, well, I want to do a profile on you and this and that. Yet she's going to take that information and twist it to put him in a bad light eventually, obviously, as we all know. And poor Harry can see this and simply cannot find the words to express to Hagrid, hey, big fella, wicked bad idea.
Yes.
Let's not do that. Rita Skeeter, I can't say that I blame her, because if she has been banned from the grounds, she's got to do something.
Says a Slytherin. So, what I do appreciate is the trio obviously knows Rita is up to no good, obviously has skewed the entire article about Harry, and Hermione tries to get the attention off of Hagrid. They know that Rita is up to no good. So she suddenly is like, oh, look, it's Harry Potter. Harry, you love these things, right? You love Cure Magical Creatures class.
Right.
Thinking if Harry is able to share his limelight and his accolades with Hagrid, that it'll make for a more pleasant right up. And yet Ron knows at the end, like, she's going to skew everything. This is going to be an utter mess, because she's seeing all the kids. They're all burnt. They're all scared. We don't know what these silly species of blast-ended screws are even good for. So this is just the beginning. Rita is going to be nosy and listening to all sorts of things, whether it's overhearing Hagrid in the future chapters or conspiring with other Slytherins inside Hogwarts to get the dish and to she's up to no good.
And it also goes to show you that you made an astute point, Mary, that the author is showing you, even in a kid's book, that narrative can be adjusted, narrative can be twisted, so that, listen, this is what I tell my kids, and I've been telling them this recently. Not everyone is your friend. Not everyone's your buddy.
I found that out at like 32.
And I also said this to my daughter a couple of days ago. Everybody is watching you at all times. Everybody is waiting for you to make a mistake.
Oh my gosh, you said that to our 6-year-old?
I did. You want to know why? Because my dad said that to me when I was a kid, and that stuck with me for the longest time. It was such a valuable lesson. Everybody is watching you at all times, and they're all waiting for you to make a mistake. And our daughter recently did make a very serious mistake that she shouldn't have done, and I thought it was an appropriate time to give her the lesson that my dad gave me. They have to know that not everybody is your friend. And I like the fact that the author has put this in here to show not only us, the reader, that this notion is a true one, but that Harry is also starting to recognize, yeah, you know what? You got to be careful. You got to be careful with what you say, how you say it, and to whom you say it. They're not your buddy, not your friends. Like it. I like it a lot.
We then go up to Professor Trelawney's at divination class. And once again, it's so fun rereading these books as the many times that I have, to be looking at things through a different lens, whether looking for every moment that maybe Snape is taking care of Harry, or every moment that you need to sit there and say, what did Dumbledore know? It's also fun to be going through each time Trelawney makes a prediction, because she does not get enough credit. She doesn't.
Well, listen, so broken clock is right twice a day.
Okay. Well, anyway, she says, as I sat here, absorbed in my needlework, the urge to consult the orb overpowered me. I arose, I settled myself before it, and I gazed into its crystalline depths. And what do you think I saw gazing back at me? An ugly old bat in outsized specs, Ron muttered under his breath. Death, my dears.
And I love how Harry's like, if I had a dime or whatever it was for every time that she predicted I was gonna die, I'd be wicked rich,
Yeah. But the truth is that she didn't say Harry is going to die. She sees death, and death is coming to Hogwarts.
That is very fair. Very fair.
Death is going to have this shroud and this presence on this school community in a terrible way. So cheers to you, Trelawney.
Very fair that she is, in fact, right, that death is coming. But again, she is so predicting it at an extraordinary rate that it's hard to
I
believe her.
mean, she was right the last time, too. She said something.
Oh, get out of here. It's kind of like Moody. Moody was the one that was always like, oh, people are trying to kill me and nobody took him seriously about this thing. It's so why would you take Trelawney seriously about this
I'm not
subject?
saying you need to take her seriously. I'm just saying that she's kind of right sometimes. And then we go on downstairs to the kitchens. This is the closest we will be in the Harry Potter books to the Hufflepuff common room, by the way. This is it.
This is it?
This is as close as we're going to get. Tickling this pear, man. And it's so sad because obviously, there's a lot of Hufflepuffs in the world and we do learn a lot about it through other resources and the author has done different things on Pottermore and it's made for an expanded, fun universe.
And as a matter of fact, what I read is that Helga Hufflepuff was the one who brought the house elves to Hogwarts so that she could save them from oppression and bad treatment and all that other stuff.
Blake, we're going to take a quick aside. Would you like to tell everybody about your Halloween costume?
Oh, gosh.
No! God, please, no! No!
No, Michael, I don't want to do it.
No!
That's
Okay.
right.
No!
Oh, fine, I'll do it. Yes, for Halloween. For Halloween, I was Cedric Diggory. I was a Hufflepuff. I dressed up just like your boy, Mary, Cedric. And it pained me. It pained my soul.
Oh, my goodness.
I was basically given the Cruciatus curse. But I did it. I did. You want to know why?
Tell me why, Blake.
I did it because I love my bride. And I love my listeners. And I've busted on the Hufflepuffs quite a bit. And I recognize that some of you may take that a little personally. Listen, it's all for show. It's all for fun. I don't really hate the Hufflepuffs.
Most of our friends are Hufflepuffs,
that
if
much.
not all of them.
I don't hate them that much. But
Oh, my gosh.
but you know what?
Don't listen to him.
I wanted to show some good faith here. Some good faith that it's all just for the show. It's all for fun. I'll be Cedric. And I'll go out there. I'll wear the puff colors, and I will show the pride in the greatest Hufflepuff there ever was, Cedric Diggory. So there you go. That's it. That's all. I was Cedric.
Just figured I'd share that because it's exciting news. And the pictures are online in our Facebook group. Just
Yes.
search Mary and Blake on Facebook so you can check them on out there. All right, so I know that the House Elf Liberation Front is not Blake's favorite topic. A, he's never read these books. B, he just doesn't care because, he has a cold heart.
Well, because I'm right.
So, no.
Even the book tells me I'm right.
No.
Yeah. Yes, it's true. It's true. The book does.
You're
tell
just
me
bored with this plot line, and that's okay. It's totally okay. And honestly, I don't think I've ever found anyone who's really passionate about it, except that one time we went to that Harry Potter book club.
that. Oh my God! All you
Stop.
nerds.
We just had a lot of fun. We just
you
had a lot
nerds
of fun.
talking about spews, the worst.
So, but what I just love about it is we get to see Dobby again, and Dobby is going to be making an appearance in all of the subsequent books, which is really cool. He doesn't get a lot of airtime in the movies.
No, he gets it in the second film, and then he gets it in the seventh film.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That's why I did not expect to see Dobby in this chapter at all. I did not expect him to see him in this book.
And
at
what's
all.
interesting is as we go through the subsequent books again, you're going to be like, oh, yeah, there he is again.
Yeah.
Okay, here he is. He actually is an important character. So what I love is he's able to say about Dobby talks about his conversations with Dumbledore and how Dumbledore wanted to pay Dobby too much and give him too much time off, and that they were able to really kind of
They talked him down.
Yes, yes.
1 galleon a month. There you go.
Yes.
Have fun with that.
And yet Dobby's the only one who seems to be of this opinion, and we see poor Winky, who of course worked for the Crouches. She's a little bit tipsy. There's nothing like a tipsy Winky who's just crying, unbelievably sad. And shockingly, no one will give Winky work, which confuses me as I feel like a free house elf. Why wouldn't someone say yes? I mean, if someone said, hi, I love to clean. I would love to be in your family. And I take up very little space. Can I please clean your house all the time and make you food?
Well, I
might say yes.
You know what the
if they
first
really
thing-
wanted to do it.
The first thing that comes to my mind when I think about this is actually the film where Lucius Malfoy is going to Harry and said, "You took away my servant," and he gives him the Avada Kedavra curse, or at least on the way to it. Now, I don't think that they intended for Harry to be killed over Dobby being freed.
That was
Jason Isaacs making
making
an
a poor
artistic choice. We'll call it an artistic choice.
poor.
But I think there is some level of
He literally could have gone to Azkaban for that, for trying to do that to Harry Potter on Hogwarts grounds.
over Dobby, like right next to Dumbledore's office.
And Dumbledore probably overheard it and was like, let's see how this works out. Maybe he won't die again from it.
Maybe it'll bounce back again. I don't know. Let's see what happens.
Hey, this is a whole big experiment. Hagrid's got his blast-ended Scroots. I've got Avada Kedavra.
Again, how much does Dumbledore know? That's the question we always go back to.
It's not real because it wasn't real.
No, but I guess what I'm saying is this. Maybe there is this level of social contract where it's like you don't take a house elf from somebody else, even though she was fired and even though she's kind of shamed. It's kind of like, yeah, no, dude, I'm not taking a house elf from Barty Crouch, because who knows what's going to happen to me, and who knows what people are going to say when I take Barty Crouch's house elf from him, even though she got fired. I don't want that heat. I keep that heat away from me.
Fired or freed?
Fired.
Oh.
Definitely fired. Hold on, sorry.
Your cousin from Boston.
And then, of course, Hermione, being completely clueless, says, "And how much is Professor Dumbledore paying you, Winky?" If she had thought this would cheer up Winky, she was wildly mistaken. Winky did stop crying, but when she sat up, she was glaring at Hermione through her massive brown eyes, her whole face sopping wet, and suddenly furious. "Winky is a disgraced elf, but Winky is not yet getting paid," she squeaked. "Winky is not sunk so low as that. Winky is properly ashamed of being freed."
You know what that shows you? It shows you that the level of conditioning that some of these house elves go through, and they're owned by other people, this is not easily redacted. This is not easily just deleted. Even Dobby, a free house elf who has presumably been a free now for at least a year and a half, is still giving himself a hard time for talking poorly about the Malfoys. So the fact that Winky is over here saying like, "Oh, I haven't stooped down," she's holding herself to a certain level.
Yes.
Even though she has no need to.
But she associates herself with this family. She cares for some members of this family deeply. She says, "You're not insulting my master. You is not insulting Mr. Crouch. Mr. Crouch is a good wizard, miss. Mr. Crouch is right to sack poet bad Winky." And then they go on and they're like, "Why are you not able to say anything bad about them? You're no longer with them." And Dobby cleans the confusion up, and he's very, very serious. "'Tis part of the house elf's enslavement, sir. We keeps their secrets and our silence, sir. We upholds the family's honor, and we never speaks ill of them. Though Professor Dumbledore told Dobby, he does not assist upon this." So he goes on and says that Dumbledore said, "You can call me an old codger. You can talk about me behind my back all you want."
Yep.
But Winky, it's a big deal that Winky keeps the secrets.
And I think this is where I say the text is actually proving me correct, because it's not. Hermione is so enveloped in this idea of house elf rights, and they should be getting paid, they should be getting vacation. She's even arguing with Dobby about it. No, absolutely not. That is not the main issue here. The main issue is the fact that Winky and even Dobby, to an extent, have been conditioned so negatively that they have no idea, or certainly Winky has no self-worth. Has no identity outside of serving the Crouches. And because of that, her mistreatment, the fact that she just got fired the way that she did, and she blames herself. She blames herself for how she has been treated. That is what is most disgusting. That is why the text is telling you Hermione is wrong, because she isn't doing anything about that. She's more concerned with what she thinks to be valuable, which is vacation time, getting paid, and all of the level of problems that she is imposing on the house elves.
Okay. Well, I'm going to pivot because I think what we're supposed to take from this chapter is this special bit where Winky is saying that Mr. Bagman is a bad wizard. My master isn't liking him at all. My master is telling Winky some things, but Winky is not saying Winky. Winky keeps her master's secrets.
Yeah.
And I just love that because it is going to come back up where Winky really did cover up for Barty Crouch Jr. and helped out with all these different things. And then you even
Correct.
think, in latter books, we get to see what Dobby does, but oh my gosh, what's the me and Krabby elf's name? The Sirius's house. Why am I blanking on his
Creature.
name?
I got
Creature.
you.
What Creature does
Yeah.
for Regulus Black.
Yep.
They really stick through to the end. Regulus Black is dead when all this is happening, and yet it's this huge, big deal for these house elves. So I think it's just not necessarily that we're supposed to be on Hermione's side and be like, oh yeah, set the house elves free, but I think we're just supposed to really understand the way that the house elves think and the way that they feel pride about the families that they have worked for, even if they were mistreated.
Sure. And again, we talked about the juxtaposition and the contrast. And the contrast here between Dobby and Winky is such a valuable one. Winky has talked about Dobby being a bad house elf, that he's not good. He's misguided at the very least. Yet the way that they dress is so important, and the subtext here is suggesting so much more than just, oh, yay, Dobby's wearing all these crazy clothes. I mean, yeah, Dobby's got some crazy clothes going on.
Yes.
But he cares for them, and it may not make sense to you and I, but that the fact that he's wearing a tea cozy as a hat or whatever, but the fact that he has put together all of these things and the level at which he has put them together, and also included the sock that he wore and takes such good care of them, that suggests to you that he does really appreciate his freedom and the eclectic nature that he has. Yet, Winky is the one who does have a put-together outfit, but they're still ratty and dirty. It's like, yes, I'm free, but I don't care that I'm free. I don't want to put the effort in to know that this freedom matters at all to me, right?
Yeah.
It's I just love the path, the crazy eclectic path that Dobby is going on.
Yeah.
And the misguided lack of self-worth path that Winky is gone on, and it's reflective in their clothing.
And once again, we need to, since we're going through this through the lens that we've already read the series, it is important to note that through all this is happening, through all the other elves being disgraced by Dobby, what we need to hear is we need to hear Winky talking badly about Bagman, because we're going to be coming up back to that. We're talking about how she is keeping the Crouch's secrets, because we will come back to that. And this is one of the beautiful things that the author does, where she gives you stuff that she's going to come back to that does become an important plot point, that does explain how all of this crazy thing happened with Faux Moody and Barty Crouch Jr. that Winky will be helping out, has help out with, but she starts to leave these breadcrumbs, and it's things like this that make books like this really fun to reread.
Yeah, you're getting breadcrumbs, to the effect that the Malfoys are not just the kind of people that you think Harry dislikes because of Draco Malfoy, but in fact there's much more that the author through Dobby is alluding to, and even Ludo Bagman, as you suggested, and even the connection Barty Crouch Jr. has to dark magic. You're getting a lot of that through the house elves, which I think is, as you said, very important.
Yeah.
I will co-sign on that
Okay.
one. The value of the house elf liberation front, if you
Okay.
will. All right, Marvin, you got anything else you want to talk about in
do
this
not.
chapter? You got a different perspective?
I'm going to have to make one up.
All right, well, you got about 20 seconds
Seeing
or
as how
so.
it was going to be Blast-Ended Scroot, who's really just a 2-year-old toddler not wanting to nap, that wouldn't have sounded good.
All right, here we go. Let's do it.
Holy cricket! You're Harry Potter! I'm Hermione Granger. And you are?
Draco Malfoy.
Draco, what's going on today?
I hate school.
Why do you hate school so much? I feel like you got some good food. You got some friends here that you can hang out with.
It's all about Harry. So yesterday,
Harry sucks, gotta
Harry
tell you.
sucks, man. He sucks so much. He probably cheated or something.
Definitely
there's no
cheated.
way. There's no way. Okay, I'm just as smart, if not smarter than Harry. I'm in all of his classes.
You are smarter.
I am.
You want to know
am.
why? Because you're a Slytherin.
I am smart. Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
am smarter.
I got you.
Okay, so I think it's so unfair that he's in the Goblet of Fire Triwizard Tournament thing.
Uh-huh.
I already messaged my dad to make sure that I can get in the next one if they allow 4 people in. But anyway, I wouldn't have thought of that spell. And we didn't learn it. We haven't learned.
So how did he get this information?
I don't know.
Maybe
I
he went
don't
in the
know.
restricted section. That's what he
Whatever
did.
it is, like I've been in his charms class and
Uh-huh.
I didn't know Accio or Accio or Accio.
Accio. Whatever.
Whatever this happens when you read mostly, okay? And you make up the words in your mind.
You have too many different
He
readers.
was yelling and there was a dragon screaming, so I didn't hear him too well, but I didn't know that spell.
You know, that girl Hermione, she's smart.
She's also pretty.
You don't want to talk about that, though.
So
do
we've
you?
got that. We've got Harry Potter cheating, and so I know he cheated. As a Slytherin, I know when
Sure.
someone cheats.
Sure.
He cheated yesterday.
Totally cheated.
He was a little confident with it, like, oh yeah, bippity boppity broom. What?
Get out of here with that
Stop
summoning
it.
charm.
Seriously, that we don't know as 4th years.
Yeah.
Goodness me. And then, it just stinks because I hate school right now. I've got these blast-ended scroots that I've been telling my dad are pointless,
Yeah.
are hurting people. Nobody's listening to me.
Yeah.
Nobody's listening to me.
You know what?
Harry
They are
Potter's cheating,
pointless.
pointless, hurting things. And then the only good thing is Rita Skeeter. That is a professional that I can look to.
Knows what she's doing.
No, yes.
Gets information, crafts a good
Uncovers the
narrative.
truth. Uncovers the truth.
Lets the world know what's right, what's wrong, and what is.
That's right.
Doing her job.
That's right.
Yeah.
End scene.
I love egging on a Slytherin. This is good stuff. We should do more Slytherin talk.
Okay.
I can do this all day.
Okay.
All day, and for all the Slytherins. All right, you ready for some listener questions?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
Mail's here.
All right, this one comes from Kristen in Louisiana.
Hello, Kristen.
She says, this question is from chat.
Is it Kristen with a K?
It is Kristen with a K.
Is it Kristen with a K with an R?
Sure.
Last name? You don't even know. Okay. I don't
It
know
just
if
says it's Kristen. That's all I
I'm
got.
assuming it's my Kristen that I know.
Okay, sure. She says, this question is from chapter 20, the first task.
Yes.
She said, why didn't Harry just Accio the golden egg? I've always wondered that. Marvin, your thoughts on why Harry just didn't Accio the egg? Well, actually, before we go to that question,
Yes.
how do you pronounce it? Is it Accio, 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 or
A CO?
Because it'd be like cappuccino. It'd be like
Chino.
cappuccino, because of the double
Chio.
C's.
Accio. God bless you.
But but in the film it's Accio,
I know.
which would make sense because it's the 2 C's, so it's a hard pronunciation.
Is it?
Or is it the Jim Dale version, Accio?
Telling you, this is why I'm confused.
Or is it the British
would have
version,
said
Accio?
I would have said if I saw that and I was in Flitwick's class, I would have said Accio or Accio. That's what I would have done. There's no H.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I absolutely. I think I would have pronounced it.
You
like,
would have called it Accio just to be a joker.
No,
wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Family friendly show still, but still.
Sorry. Hold on.
That's what she said.
I'll see Uranus. Wasn't that what Ron said?
Yeah. Can I sue something Uranus? Yes, that would have been me. No, I think I would have pronounced it Accio.
Okay.
But I think I like the movie pronunciation, Accio. So how do you want to go about this for the rest of the series? Do you want to do Accio, Accio, or Accio?
I'm going to mess it up every time, Blake. So you can just choose which one you're going to be stable with, and I will change it every time because that's how I am. Same thing with plural of animagus, okay? Make it up every time.
All right, I'm going to go with Accio.
Okay, good for you.
All right, so why didn't he just Accio the golden egg?
Because Harry Potter, bless his sweet little heart, doesn't have the best ability to think on his feet in the stressful time of being looked at by a dragon. He just did what he practiced. He listened to Hermione. Hermione is a believer of do what you practice. Don't just pivot yet.
And
Don't
Mad-Eye
pivot.
Moody. And Mad-Eye Moody, too.
Mad-Eye Movie didn't say you have to take the egg from the dragon. They just said there are going to be dragons. Had he been told you have to take an egg away from a dragon, maybe he would have done the summoning charm on the egg. Bippity-boppity-boo, done. But he practiced that he needed to get
His broom.
So
Yeah.
he just did what he practiced. He
Right.
had a plan. He stuck to the plan.
Kind of like Thor with his hammer. He's just like, Thor holding out his hand for the hammer in the Avengers.
Yeah.
Harry Thored it up.
Yes.
He Thored it up. This one comes from Morgan. She says, hey, y'all.
Hello.
Lots of y'alls in this one, okay? So just go with me on this because I'm not this is not my
Not your forte.
not my forte. Hey, y'all. I just started listening to y'all's podcast last week.
Hey.
It's definitely interesting to hear y'all's perspective. I wanted to find a podcast that explored all the little details of the series, and y'all's hits the spot. I just wanted to say good job, and I hope when I catch up to the present recordings, I can put in questions. But so far, y'all have answered all the ones I've had.
Yay.
I'm only on chapter 3 of book 2, but keep up the good work, and I can't wait to keep listening. Morgan, you are welcome. You're welcome. We're here for you.
Welcome.
We're here for you. We're ready to go. We're going to have some fun, and I can't wait for you to catch up so we can keep getting all those y'alls. I am not accustomed to pronouncing that.
Agreed.
So the more y'all in my life, I'm ready to go. This one comes from Ashley. She says, hi, Mom and Blake. Last week, you had a fellow listener that talked about how they had shared the podcast with their friends, one of them being Baker, who you gave a shout out to. By the way, Baker, hi. Hi again, Baker. You're welcome. Baker happens to be the same person that introduced me to the podcast, is one of my very close friends. Also, his first name is Chris, and I'm now a constant listener, and I've actually gone back and reread all the books along with the podcast. Aww. Your show has really given me something to look forward to each week, and I love hearing the different perspectives as well as your take on each of the chapters. Thank you so much for being so awesome. You know what, Ashley? Thank you for being awesome.
Yes.
And thank you, Baker, for being awesome, getting the shout-outs, getting the word out about the podcast.
Thank you.
Baker and Ashley, you know what you get today?
What?
Baker and Ashley, they get a very important mantle.
Hey, didn't know we were getting one of these. Dig it.
It makes me want to shout. You're welcome, Baker and Ashley. That's important. That is that's a gift right there. All right, Mavi, you got anything else?
Oh, I wanted to thank one of the latest reviewers on Apple Podcasts. We have fallen from the top 5.
Yes, we have.
Okay.
You know what that means?
We need y'all.
We need y'all to spread the word more.
So go to Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star but also written review.
Yes,
you got to
please.
drop a little sentence or two.
Yes.
That's going to help boost it. If you're someone who watches on YouTube or Facebook, still try to go through the Apple Podcast app every once in a while. It's because the downloads help the rankings, but also, honestly, the written reviews.
And the subscriptions to Apple Podcast help us go up those ranks. That's what it's really the rankings are based on.
Yeah. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Molly Mary E. So this is a great podcast. I enjoy listening to their take on Harry Potter. I look forward to a new one each week. Highly recommended this and others from Mary and Blake's Nerd Clan.
All right. Shout out to the Nerd Clan right there. The power of the hashtag Nerd Clan.
Thank you.
Never goes away.
That's
It's always there. Ever present, the power of the Nerd Clan. All right, you ready to close this bad boy out?
Sure am.
Let's do it.
Thank you all so incredibly much. Don't forget, particularly here in the month of November 2021, if you need to do any shopping whatsoever in the beauty or skincare realm, I would be beyond honored if you reached out to me on Facebook or Instagram. Just search the hashtag Minute with Mary. I'd love to help hook you up. One of the easiest things to get on my site is actually my mascara. I've got waterproof, I've got volumizing, I've got separating, I've got it all. And that's just a wonderful thing to treat yourself to.
And let's just say for the sake of argument that you don't want anything to do with makeup. You don't want anything to do with skincare.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not okay. I want you to go buy it. But if
No.
if you don't want it, that's fine. Go to the Mary and Blake store because you know what? Holiday season's here. Halloween, over.
OVA.
Once Halloween's OVA, Christmas. That's what it is. And because of that, go to the Marion Blake store. And if you got yourself a spouse or a friend, or if you are
wanna buy it
a
for
Marion
me.
Blake nerd or a member of the Nerd Clan, go get yourself some stuff at the Marion Blake store. We
Treat
got
yourself.
tons, especially from the Potterverse collection. Oh my goodness.
On that note, everybody, I'm Mary.
My name is Blake.
Oh, and you're loud.
I'm ready to go today,
Mischief
baby.
managed.
That's what happens when we talk about Slytherins in different perspective. Gets me going.